2020 pre-market. Yes, you heard what I had to say. It is exactly 5:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have a daily chart on the NASDAQ 100 futures, which right now in this pre-market are gapping up 128 points. It's part of the volatility that we have for the month of September, as we all know it. We can see how the NASDAQ 100 futures broke out in pre-market. Okay, we also know how the dip was being bought. So once again, they're up 130, 131 points. A lot of this had to do with the vaccines yesterday. It doesn't matter. Upside volatility works as well as downside volatility. This is what September is about. So for the bull side, we get pops like this. We've had lots of upgrades, but let things be put in perspective. On your daily charts, a lot of them have daily sell signals. So when you get upside volatility, you have to understand where that hardcore resistance is going to be. So we're gapping up pre-market as of right now, 122.75. And this is a 5-minute of the NASDAQ 100 futures in pre-market. So far in pre-market this morning, we have had a slew of upgrades. It came out this morning with, oh my goodness, tons of upgrades, something you don't see very often. Upgrading Google to overweight. They just about upgraded everything. Netflix overweight, Roku, Snap, Spot, TTD. Everything overweight. So once again, analysts can get very volatile as well. So you take it with a grain of salt. It comes down to price action and what that upgrade may or may not do. So once again, we get back to the headlines. Headlines are very important because we have an FOMC meeting that's starting today, and then Jerome Powell is going to be out tomorrow talking about his new gig with inflation. Yeah. And so expect the market to be extremely volatile. This is what we call a super gap open up. It's the second day in a row. Tuesday morning, 9:15, 9:14. This is a carryover about the vaccine being in play. So those headlines were out. And then you had KeyBank coming out with a slew of nothing but overweight. So when we start to see a lot of activity, we see it around the world and in the U.S. And the thing about it is, in pre-market futures, you're going to set up your options trading. You're going to get the alerts from us via the live trading room. Then your day will start. Now, for those who can't be present all the time, we have a managed account program. No problem. You just simply get on that, and then it's done for you. And you can set up an appointment for that. One of the things that we will talk about is the S&P 500 futures pre-market, which are gapping higher. And this is how stocks will always gap up for the new people watching the video. And on that opening bell, when you're going to get your option order entries on the ones that you're going to get ready to trade. And remember, a lot of people don't understand these options. And yesterday, these sell gaps were used. These gaps were used to sell these names down yesterday. And they were. And outside of the Tesla gap, Amazon gap yesterday was $52, and it sold out and made lower lows the whole day. And once again, Amazon has a gap of 39 in pre-market. and Google has a gap of $14. Another one from the gap that just kept making lower lows, and sellers were in those kinds of names. And then there was some other names that were bought yesterday. We did the live videos, and that gold patch, whoa, baby, they're on fire. And we did those. NUGT is up 3.61. And here is the pre-market futures in the NASDAQ 100 futures pulling back. So when you learn the futures market, stocks go up in the directional movement of your futures market. And I can show you that live. I can show you all kinds of cool stuff. And basically, it's pure mathematics when you get down to it. But we'll get into that when I'm showing you live. Sign up for the free 5-day trial. That's all you got to do. So we're going to start our day out with a gap open up pre-market. The time is 5:20 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, as we will carefully examine what names are being sold with the gaps. And yes, we've had quite the volatility to the downside, and the upside volatility works the same way. Now, having said that, in the options market has changed because of the volatility. So the bigger the gaps in pre-market in the NASDAQ 100, and you're trading NASDAQ 100 stocks or NASDAQ stocks, then your option volatility is going to be real wide between the buyer and the seller. And a lot of people don't know how to get in and even get the entry. Don't worry, we'll show you how to do that, and we'll actually do it for you. So here we are, gapping up, and it's part of the volatility in pre-market. So equity prices will continue. The good ones that are holding up, that never did create daily sell signals, create the daily sell signals, so those stocks are going to bounce. Now, the ones that are oversold got even more oversold yesterday, and we'll cover those names individually. Right now, we're going to take a look and see exactly how the equities will follow the futures market. And pre-market futures is how you set your day up. It's how you set your day up with your risk management. And not only that, your biggest plays are going to come right here in this live trading room, right with me, just like you're watching the video. It'll be me and you, and we'll be going through the complete setup of pre-market and how to use your time correctly, and how to look at both sides of the market, particularly in the options market. And the volatility between the bid and the ask, between the buyers and the sellers in some of these options, are outrageous. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get your head handed to you. And you probably know from experience, we can stop that right away. So here we are on a 5-minute NASDAQ 100, setting our day up. And it's good for you to be proactive. And it's good for you to get involved with the futures market so that you can understand the equities and the options and various different instruments. Let's go ahead and do it together. Sign up for the free 5-day trial, NASDAQ 100, pre-market gap, bull market gap. Yesterday we had selling. We're going to monitor that very carefully again today in the price action pre-market update.